Oh boy, welcome everyone. It is a beautiful November 1st, Monday afternoon. Welcome to your manual to mind and body alignment. You are in for an incredible treat because we're going to talk today about how to create, gain, and maintain alignment physically and mentally, the other way around. My name is Brigitta Hoeferle. I am honored and excited to be here with you. We have more people coming in. As you are coming in, share with us where you're calling in from. We are all about creating a safe space. This is a camera on kind of webinar because we're going to do some interactive exercises together, not just mentally, but also physically. So buckle up. Let me share my screen with you really quick, and then we're going to go through who we are and what we do and what you're going to get out of today. So again, welcome. How to create, gain, and maintain alignment mentally and physically. As I said, my name is Brigitta Hoeferle. That is German. I am a US American, a US citizen as well. I am an educator in Germany. I did my education degree in German, and I'm an educator by building a school in the United States. Actually built two schools, one Montessori school for kids and one school for adults that is the center of NLP. I've authored many curricula. I'm a Grandmaster of Neuro-Linguistic Programming. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about NLP. I'm a business owner, businesswoman. I serve on the International Coaching Federation as a board member. But first and foremost, I'm a mom and I'm a wife. And that is that gets me out of bed every morning. And that's why I do what I do. But this is not about me. This is also not about her, but I really want you to hear from her. This is really about you today. But help me welcome Maria Angelova, who is my co-trainer today.
Hello, everybody. So excited to be here. And Brigitta, thank you so much for the warm intro. I am so super excited about this little workshop because when I first met Brigitta and heard about what she does, I was like, whoa, this is like exactly what I do in the physical world, but in the mental world. So this is like marriage made in heaven, right? So who am I? I am a rebellious soul. I am a child of movement, sunshine, and air. I am originally Bulgarian, as you can probably tell, not an Atlantan accent. And I moved to the US in '92. I have a BBA and MBA in finance, which is probably not what you expect to hear. And I am 600-hour Pilates certified instructor. And as of this year, and thanks to Ms. Brigitta, I'm a certified NLP practitioner. And I'm a mom of an 11-year-old rebellious young girl. And I am also a business owner. As of the past 5 years, I have chosen the path of entrepreneurship when I left my corporate career behind and decided to do something that my heart was calling for. So I'm super proud to be here with you as somebody who shares her passion and lives a lifestyle of choice rather than one dictated by societal expectations, which is why I'm so excited to share everything that we're going to talk about today, because it is what has taken me out of the vicious cycle of life to a life that I want to live, right? So without further ado, let's talk about what holistic alignment is, right? And that is not only physical, but also psychological alignment. And we don't usually think of alignment in that context. So what I'm going to focus on today is talk about the physical aspect of it, and Brigitta is going to focus on the psychological part of it. So let me start with a little story. I got into the fitness world as a side gig, as a hobby when I was 16, and I started teaching. My specialties were the HIIT type of workouts, you know, the ones that you have to monitor and watch how many calories you have burned. If you guys don't mind putting yourself on mute, that would be great, so there is no background voice. Where we would watch the monitor and see how many minutes we have done, where the heart rate is, how many calories we have burned. And then in 2012, I met the method of Pilates, and I was very much unimpressed because I was not sweating, my heart rate was not up, I didn't hear or feel my heart pounding. And I was like, what kind of workout is that? And that was the type of workout that actually truly changed my life. Fast forward, I started, Pilates got me to interconnect body and mind and got me to take the brave step of stepping out of the corporate world and following my purpose and passion, which was always to have a fitness studio. So in 2016, I quit my corporate job as a finance director, and I started Rebellious International, and it was called Rebellious because everybody told me that I'm crazy to quit an office job and teach Pilates. So I thought it should reflect my spirit. And it started as a physical practice, right? As a workout practice. And as I started becoming aware of how people were moving and knowing their patterns of movement, I would see that from time to time, their patterns of movement would change. And when I started asking questions, I realized that there was something happening to them mentally or emotionally, and that was reflecting in the way that they're moving. Became fascinated, started studying some of the work of Louise Hay. If you have not heard of her, she talks about the emotional impact of disease. Mm-hmm. And then actually, thanks to Brigitta, I got introduced to Christine Bierland, who does similar type of work, but it's about the emotional and mental aspect of our emotion and how that impacts movement. And I'm here to tell you that your body is an expression of you, not only physically, but also mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Our body talks to us. The thing is that most of us tend to be quite disconnected from how our body feels, right? So let me hear, what is the first thing when you experience pain? What is the first thing that you do? Put it in the chat. Give me a word. What do you do? Come on. A few curse words, okay, that works. Breathe, that's good. That's really good. Breathe, that's very good. Touch where it hurts. Okay, we have a different kind of crowd today. I like this. I like this. What do most people do when they experience pain? Let's put it that way. Say, ouch, pop a pill, right? So, yeah, pop a pill. So who has time to deal with why we're in pain, right? It is so much easier to just suppress what's going on and keep moving forward. Now, what does pain do? It distracts us. It takes away from our focus, from our productivity, right? And let's say the example of back pain. What can back pain mean, right? Back pain could be you have had an injury. Back pain could be you have been sitting too long and your body is feeling stiff. Back pain could be there is misalignment into your body. Back pain could also be emotionally you don't feel supported in life. Back pain could be your nervous system is on overload, and as a result, it cannot tolerate anything else, right? So again, your body is an expression of you physically. Yes, muscle disbalance, that's what I'm talking about. So our body speaks to us, and how tuned we are to our body makes a difference. So it's the same thing as how do we go through life. We are human beings, and as such, we have the gift of intellect and the gift of making choices. Now, sometimes that serves us well, and sometimes that does not serve us so well, right? When there are those limiting beliefs, which is what Brigitta is going to tune into, we get stuck. All of us have an alignment map, right? We experience something in life that generates a thought, that thought generates a feeling, and the feeling leads to action or lack of action. And that action or lack of action brings in results. So if our life is not where it wants to be, if the results are not such that we want, where do we start? We start on the bottom, which is our beliefs. And where are those beliefs born? They're born into our upbringing, in those people who are around us, the things that we heard, our environment, our culture, parents, grandparents, neighbors, friends, and so forth, right? So our alignment map and what shows up in the physical really starts right here, right? Which is a powerful discovery. And the more you become aware of this, which is where all transformation starts, awareness, the more we can reframe our life to where it leads us to positive results, right? Instead of undesired results. And again, Brigitta will speak a little bit more about that. So let's take it on to the next step and talk about the Angelova Method, which is related to the physical hardware or our body, right? Now, what is the Angelova Method? It is a training method of physical and mental training. What I'm going to focus on here is the physical aspect of it, and Brigitta is going to cover the psychological aspect of it. So if you look at the pyramid, what's on the bottom? It is alignment. If you think about most physical training programs, where do they start? They probably start closer to the top towards the mobility, which includes the strength, flexibility, endurance type of modalities. On the bottom is alignment. So if we lack alignment, what does that mean? It could be that our pelvis is out of alignment. It could be that our spine is out of alignment. So if I sit like that, you can see, for example, how my shoulders are out of alignment, in alignment, out of alignment, right? What I see for most of the people who are in pain, the cause of that is misalignment. The minute you correct the alignment, it resolves the problems. Now, fixing an alignment issue is not as something as easy as, oh yes, that's what it is and fix it, because our brain, if there was an injury and let's say your body has adjusted this way to protect you from the injury, the brain is retrained to think, this is my body in alignment. Well, you can see that my body is not in alignment, right? So what our bodies are brilliant in the way that they adjust for, let's say, an injury. However, the body does not anticipate that the compensation would last over a period of time. And over time, if the misalignment is not corrected, what happens is there is increased wear and tear on the body, on the joints, on the tendons, and so forth, which long-term starts leading to pain. So alignment has to be the baseline of every movement modality. And like Brigitta will talk really to life, right? Taking it to the next step, control. So what is control? That is where we have control of the movement rather just going with jerky momentum move. Control in Pilates, for example, we focus on the core, which is our center, our powerhouse. And what we do is we have control in the movement so that the pelvis and the spine remain stabilized throughout the entire range of motion. What that ensures is not only safety and protection, but it also ensures that we have effectiveness and efficiency of how we move, right? Moving on a level up, we take it to balance and stability. So balance is maintaining equilibrium while we're standing still, and stability is maintaining that equilibrium against center of gravity as we move. What are necessary for both of those? The bottom layers. We have to be in alignment and we have to have control. What do balance and stability ensure? Active aging, safety movement, right? Not being in pain. When we're in balance, when we are moving in balance, then we're not wearing and tearing on the body unnecessarily. Taking it up another level, that's mobility. And as I mentioned, that is usually where most of the physical training method starts. What I do with people is we build healthy muscle. A healthy muscle has 4 properties. That's so important. That's like a quiz question. And what are those? There's strength, flexibility, endurance, and control. 4 things. So if you have a muscle that is really strong but lacks flexibility and you do a sudden movement, snap, right? The muscle can tear. If you have a joint that's hypermobile, but there is no control into it, and you do a jerky movement, you're predisposed to injury, right? So you want to have all 4 in order to ensure, again, same thing, safety, effectiveness, and efficiency of movement. And then taking it up to the top of the pyramid, you have flow. Flow requires that all of the bottom pieces of the pyramid are intact, that you're moving in alignment, that you're moving with control, maintaining stability throughout the range of the motion of the movement, and that you have great mobility. What this results is in beautiful, smooth, flawless, graceful, easy movements. It is something that I will tell you very few people in the world have mastered, but it looks absolutely powerful. And Brigitta will show you a couple of seconds of a video of one of my favorites. He's a Pilates teacher, ex-dancer, as you will see. And I will tell you, he still has opportunity for improvement, but he's one of the best that I've ever seen. Check this out.
So I had that pulled up and somehow it got pulled away again. So bear with me as I'm pulling up that that YouTube. And I don't know why it's not working right now. So
I just want you to observe as while Brigitta finds it, how he moves. Look how, I would tell you what he's demonstrating is extremely difficult, but just watch him and you'll probably be like, oh, I can do that. And then you try to do it and it's like, oh no, you cannot. It requires a lot of all of those things we talked about, right? And he makes it look super easy, effortless, and flowy.
and as I'm pulling him up on YouTube, bear with me.
No, you had it because you showed it to me right before we got started.
I know, and I embedded the link and now the link's not playing for whatever reason. But you know what? It's all good. I got him. I got him right here. So we're going to do some exercises and they're not going to be anything like what you're going to see. That's just a little taste of
Don't worry.
All right, so let me share my screen with you. No. Okay. There we go. Okay.
Doesn't he make it look so easy? Look at that. Flexibility, strength, flexibility, endurance, control. Not an exercise you want to lose your control on. Can you do that? Look at the control he has in the way he moves. You probably could, Fred. So that is an exercise you usually do with the springs, which provide support. He's doing it with no springs. Look at the engagement he has. Now, if you lose control on any of these exercises, you can badly get hurt, right?
I know, do you see those springs? They can spring back. So if you don't have any control, you're out of luck. You're going to fly all over the place.
I see some of your faces. Yes, that is flexibility, right? And especially for a man, he has tremendous flexibility. He is an ex-dancer, right? So that helps. And I will tell you, most men can achieve tremendous increase in flexibility through the work, but it doesn't happen overnight. So don't worry, you will not do this on your first session. Some of you are like, I'm never attempting that, right?
And honestly, I can say this, because I've been working with Maria for over half a year. You don't do this in your second or your third or your fifth or your 10th or your 50th. It takes a long time to gain that kind of flexibility and control. And I want to go back, Maria, and just show the entire pyramid again that you shared with us. Oh, hold on. Because it's not one or the other. It's all of them.
It's all of them. You have to have all of them. So he's maintaining alignment. He's maintaining control. You can see how balanced, right, and stable he's on the equipment. Like Brigitta said, there is springs. If he loses control, it would not be pretty. And you can see how much range of motion he has. He's strong, he's flexible, he has the control, and he has the endurance. And that's how he looks like, so flowy, right? Most of us, I've been doing Pilates for about 10 years, and it does not look flowy. It looks like it's a struggle.
So I'm curious, in the chat box or by a show of hands, you can use your reactions or in the chat box, have ever done Pilates? Okay. And where would you say in your journey on Pilates, where are you in comparison to this gentleman? Like, are you at a 10 out of 10, or are you at a 1 out of 10, or where are you?
One.
One.
Board, yes.
Oh, wow, nice. 10 out of 10. 1.2 out of 10.
Minus.
I would probably 0. Okay, great. This is fantastic. Are you guys getting something out of this? Is this not fascinating? Okay, I want to, Maria, did you want to add anything, or do we want to?
I will transition it right to you, Brigitta. Thank you. Take us through the juicy part of what's coming.
So the beautiful thing is, you know, when I first met Maria, and clearly I had no idea what Pilates is. I just knew, you know, that I like to go to the gym. I like to work out, but I also knew that I was in pain. That was one reason why I really hit it off with Maria, not just because she's a very knowledgeable and great person in her whole being. I was in a lot of pain. I broke my tailbone many years ago, giving birth to our firstborn daughter. And I was ready to let go of that pain. And I didn't know where that came from, but I knew from my NLP background, being a Grandmaster of Neuro-Linguistic Programming, that I don't need to know where it's coming from. I just need to find someone that will help me to gain flexibility, control, and for me to heal what needs to be healed instead of popping a pill and, you know, wanting to just forget about it. Because I know that that pain's going to come again and again and again. So I want to shift a little bit, because I had the mindset, but I didn't have the skill sets. I didn't have the skill sets that Maria had. So I locked arms with her and I hired her and I worked out with her. That was during the pandemic, where I was able to drive up to Sandy Springs, like a 40-minute drive one way. And I made that like 3 times a week. And it literally healed the pain that I was in. And it was that all in itself, that process, what I'm not going to lie, was frustrating at times, right? It was like, am I ever going to get there? And honestly, there's never going to be a there. It's always the journey. It's always the constant improvement of getting there. I'm still at a 1 out of 10, and I love the journey that I'm on, and I love the things that I have learned. If I would have not had the mindset, I'm pretty sure the ones that are on the Pilates track as well can relate to that it starts with your mind. I'm going to go back to what Maria said earlier. Your thoughts lead to your feelings lead to your actions or lack of actions, and therefore you have something to show or not show, which are your results, right? Because if you continue to think the same thing over and over again, oh, I can't do that, I'm not fit enough to do that, it's too hard, I can't control the springs, or whatever kind of thoughts that you might have going through that's going to turn into feelings of, if you tell yourself it's going to be hard, guess what? It's going to be hard. And the feelings are not going to be nice feelings. But when you tell yourself, okay, I am going to work through it, you still might feel exhausted. You still might feel pain. You still might feel going through all the things that you're going through, but you're starting to see results. And the results create that momentum. So in NLP is the psychological side. I'm going to take it apart for anyone that, or actually in the chat box real quick, share with me how many of you know what NLP is? Do we have anyone? Fred's smiling over there. He's an NLP master, of course. Yes. April. Some of you know more about what NLP is, Neuro-Linguistic Programming major. Yes, Jeannie, of course. So NLP stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming. Neuro is your brain. That's where your thoughts happen. That's where you store all of your memories, all of your entire emotions are coming from that board, if you will. That is your computer, right? Linguistic is your communication, the things that you're telling yourself or the things that you're telling other people. And the programming is the behavior part. How are you showing up in your behavior, the things that you're telling yourself from the thoughts that you're feeling? And how does your behavior or how does your communication and your thoughts have an impact on others? Because if Maria would be incongruent and out of alignment of the things that she says and teaches, and not does it on her own body, then that would be incongruent and it would have an impact on other people's behavior. Because people quickly see through, oh, wait a minute, she's teaching it, but she's not really doing it, right? So, and she's not continuously pouring into herself. And that's why you are here. So NLP is the foundation of your mindset in order to actually get to the skill sets of, in this case, Pilates, right? So I want to share with you some a success formula of life masters and of Pilates masters, because if you don't know what you want, you can't get there. If I would have not known that I want to be pain-free, I could have not gotten there. So that was the first thought. When I talked to Maria, I realized quickly that I didn't even know what my outcome was going to be. I didn't know that I could be pain-free in my tailbone by doing the exercises with her. In the beginning, they were like super duper preliminary exercises. They were so super duper preliminary exercises that I thought I'll never get to do any kind of workout. I'll never get to sweat. I'll never, right? So my gym experience that I had stored in my brain did not necessarily add up with the Pilates experience. Later on, it did, right? But I had to first move away from, this is one of the NLP strategies, I first had to move away from what I thought I needed, sweat, work it through, just be hard on myself and just, work through it, or find someone that is an expert, a subject matter expert in it, and seek advice and then define that outcome. And Maria helped me define that outcome greatly. And then I took intentional action. So first know what you're aiming for and then take intentional action. Again, I could have not done that without Maria. I could have gone to, YouTube University. How many of you know YouTube University, right? I could have gone to YouTube University and looked at some Pilates videos. That would have not done anything. Why? There was no reinforcement. Maria was over me, beside me, looking from the side of, okay, are you really engaging your core? Like that is, she talked about the powerhouse earlier. That is your core. Are you really engaging your core? Are you really coming from your abs and not from your lower back? That I realized through going through the exercises that all of the motions and the movements that I did were coming from my lower back. And guess what? That was the source of the pain. So she helped me take intentional action. And then being aware of what's the stinking thinking that's going on between your ears. What are you telling yourself, right? So be aware in which state of mind you're in and what emotions are coming up, what feelings are coming up, and which feelings are you focusing on? Oh, this is too hard. I can't do this. I'm not Maria. I'm not a master at this. I will never be able to let go of the pain. I will never be able to be fit. I will never be able to fill in the blank, right? That's one thing that you can focus on, or you can focus on, this is where I'm aiming for. I can be in a better state. I can focus on taking the little steps that I am taking to actually get to my outcome. So be aware of what's going on, take inventory, and then have the flexibility to reframe that in your behavior. I work out in the gym with another personal trainer. I have several. And she has a client, and every time he comes in, he's like a negative Nancy. He's always frowning. He's always like, I don't want to do this, but he's still showing up. If he would just find one thing that he could appreciate by going to the gym, everyone around him and himself would have such a better time, honestly. Because, have you ever been around people that just bring really bad energy and you're like, ugh, just get away from me, right? So have that behavioral flexibility. There's that flexibility again that Maria talked about earlier in, where was it? Control, mobility, right here. When you have behavioral flexibility and flexibility in how you look at things become easier. But if you're so stern in one direction of, no, this is what I think, and this is how it is, I already made up my mind, working out is hard, doing Pilates is hard, guess what? It's going to continue to be hard. That's just how it is. So have that flexibility of maybe looking at it from a different angle, and maybe looking at it through Maria's eyes, or maybe looking at it from someone that you look up to and go, what are they finding that makes it more enjoyable? So have that flexibility. Operate from a physiology and a psychology of excellence. You can only operate from a physiology and a psychology of excellence when you have mentors around you that will give you insight to what's going on within you, because sometimes we're so in it. Have you ever gone into the forest and you simply can't see the forest of the trees because the trees are like right here? That's how we go through life. And we try to find the way out. But I'm pretty sure you didn't bring breadcrumbs in to find your way out of the forest. So have someone that allows you to gain that to gain that awareness of what is that physiology, which is your body, and that psychology, which is your mindset, your state of mind, your emotions, of excellence. And I'm using the term excellence and not perfectionism very intentionally. Because, if I would seek Maria to help me operate from a physiology of perfectionism, then there would be a lot of frustration, because I can assure you Maria's perfect from my perfect is different, because everyone has a different definition of perfect. But when you come from a place of excellence, that means that you're at any moment are doing your very best that you can. One of the 4 agreements, always do your best. And sometimes, guys, our best is getting out of bed. Don't judge that. Only when you do that over and over and over and over and over again and don't know what you want and are not taking the intentional actions, you're not getting the results. But when you say today is my very best is, getting out of bed and brushing my teeth, then don't judge that. But make sure that you have someone that holds you accountable to always do your best in any moment. And then the 6th part is be resourceful with everything that you have. One of the laws of NLP states there are no unresourceful people. There are only unresourceful state of minds. I'm going to say that again. There are no unresourceful people, only unresourceful state of minds. So even if there were a time where I could not make it to see Maria in her studio, drive 40 minutes out, I was resourceful enough to either get on a Zoom call with her or to do some of the exercises that I have learned through the practice with Maria. So instead of not, it's not 100 or 0. There are a lot of numbers between 0 and 100. So find a middle ground and do the very best that you can and strive to come from a place of excellence. So be resourceful. Now, we want to be really resourceful in this webinar, and we have an exercise. So this is the participation part where you get to do something.
Who is ready to play? Yes. Okay, I'm gonna ask you guys to stand up if you're driving, of course. Be careful. I'm going to ask you to stand. And here is the question. How do you transform from a speaker to a Pilates teacher in no time? You take the high heel shoes. Okay, let's see if you can see me. Hopefully you can. So I want you to stay nice and tall. I can see myself really small, so hopefully you can see me. And I want you to stand about hip width apart, with your feet hip width apart and parallel, okay? And I want you to think about what I call the pizza slice. Is I want you to have even weight onto the ball of the foot as well as on the center of the heel, okay? That's your beginning. Some of you are probably rolling the feet out or rolling in, so you might have difference in the weight of your feet. Just take a second and find that balancing point. Then I want you to take your pubic bone right here, and I want you to think about pulling it in and up. And then as you do that, you're going to feel your tailbone gently drop down towards the floor. The tailbone should be pointing towards your heels. If you point your tailbone this way, you're going to tuck your pelvis. That is something that we don't want. And then I want you to think about engaging the back of your inner thighs. This is what we call the Pilatus Wrap. So think about taking the big bone, the femur bone, and bringing the femur bones towards each other. What that's going to do is if you touch your butt cheeks are going to lift up. If they're dimply, you're not doing this correctly. And then your inner thighs would be active. And the arch of your feet, which is right here, is going to lift up. Okay, now some of you might feel like you're out of balance right here, and that might, if your body is out of alignment, your brain is saying this is not safe for you and it's trying to recalibrate you or rebalance you. So if you need to lean onto a chair or wall or something around you, that's perfectly fine. Find that position, and once you find that position, you're going to find yourself working. You're going to feel your abdominals, your core working. The ribs are gently coming in and down. If you touch your abdominals, they're nice and engaged. If you touch your butt cheeks, they're nice and lifted, okay? Inner thighs are active. And now I want you to take a breath in, and you're going to expand your ribs out to the side so your abdominals stay engaged. And now you're going to pull your ribs even more in, and you're going to exhale. So that is our Pilates breath, and it ensures we can stay nice and active into our powerhouse or our cylinder here. Now, while maintaining this position, take another breath, inhale, and then exhale. Now let it go and move around and shake it over. Now I want you to get back into alignment. And I want you to lift your right or your left knee up towards your chest and then bring it down. Okay. So now what we are going to do, that was just, don't think about it much, but just move. Now we're going to go through the pyramids, and we're going to build up on alignment, control, balance and stability. Stability because we'll move. Then we'll introduce mobility, and then we'll go to flow, and let's see how well we do, okay? So even weight onto your feet, even weight onto the balls of the feet and the center of the heel. Pubic bone in and up, tail down, point towards your heels. Thighs wrapping, butt cheeks lifted up, ribs pulling in and down, and bring those armpits down. Now, balance on, let's say, your right. Don't allow the hips to shift, and just take a breath and bring that left knee up as high as you can and bring it down. And we're going to do it again. Take it up, don't move anything else, and bring it down. Now, here's the thing. I don't want you to come up and come back down. I want you to go nice and slowly as high as you can and come back down. Even onto the balls of the feet, stay nice and lifted up, stay tall, pelvis does not move, and come back down. Now we're going to do the same thing with the arms coming up. Ready? We're going to take a breath and bring those arms up and come back down. And again, you're going to take a breath and lift up and come back down. And stay tall, lift up and resist and come back down. Shake it around and let's get back to the camera. All right, so let me hear it. How many of you, let's start with the bottom. How many of you managed to maintain alignment as we were moving? You can raise your hands, I guess. Yeah, that's good. Trey, I see, very good. Oh, what kind of exercise that was at first, right? So this is the thing that trips people, right? What kind of exercise is that? That's not an exercise. Like, this is too easy. I'm just bringing my meal. That is exactly what Brigitta was talking about, right? This doesn't feel like the type of exercise that you do at the gym, right? It's like, it's too easy. Now, how many of you felt that if you try to maintain alignment, control, engagement, balance, it got a lot harder? When you were moving with intent, yes, my chick feels left out. I hear you on that. Yes. But you felt the difference of the first time when I said, just lift your leg up, and I saw everybody swing like a tree, right? And then I said, okay, now don't do that. Don't move your hips. And all of a sudden there was like, oh, wow, now I have to really think about it, right? This is where the mindset comes versus just take your knee up and down, right? So when you have to think about all of these things on the pyramid, and that's when the frustrating part comes that Brigitta was talking about, right? Exercise is that just lifting my leg up and down, right? That's exercise. My heart rate is not up. But I have people who are like, I'll make them sit in alignment and they're like, I don't know why I'm sweating because I'm just standing. I'm not even moving. It's because they're working and working on their alignment, which requires work. Does that make sense? Yes. And so Joseph Pilatus, so Fred said the best martial artists also have great value from not shifting their weight. One of the methods that Joseph Pilatus studied was actually martial arts. So some of the background of Pilatus is martial arts. He also studied yoga. He studied the movement of animals. And then the introduction of the springs came, helping wounded soldiers who were bedridden. He was helping challenge their core strength with resistance. That was the resistance. So you can think of the springs as the free weights, right? So that's an excellent point. There is actually arts aspect into his work. And if you think about that alignment of the core and maintaining that length, this is how Pilates became very well known amongst dancers, right? Because when they move, they have to move with flow and make it look effortless when they move, and they have to sustain their core engaged. Yeah, so April says, bad teaching has us thinking strenuous work leads to success. Flow is what we really need in life, in work, life, and play. And that is exactly what Brigitta and I are talking about, right? When you flow in life with grace, with intention, with integrity, and in alignment, things are very different than the way we are trained. Go, burn calories, do this, do that. And you're going like a madman, right? Not knowing what's happening. Take it on, Brigitta.
Yeah, those are great learnings. And I love what April said, and really harp on that a little bit more. It doesn't have to be hard, but in order to get to a level of mastery, it takes a lot of practice. And the first thing that comes before any practice is checking in and taking inventory of what you are telling yourself. It is checking in and taking inventory of what is going on here. And am I in a resourceful state of mind? Or am I in a non-supportive state of mind? So that's really the question here. And I want the great learnings. And I'm going to do a little exercise with you. And some of you that have been on some of my other webinars or have gone through some of our trainings before have done this. And I do this format, what I'm sharing with you right now, on a regular basis to check in with what is it that I want, what is my outcome, which actions am I going to take? So right now, take a piece of paper. We're only going to take about You're welcome to take a picture of this. It is 5:48. I want to give you 5 minutes. I don't want you to overthink it, but as I'm talking, start writing. So write down, and it could be a Pilates goal, it could be a workout goal, it could be any other goal. So this is a great template for you to have and work with it at any given moment, whatever you want to wish to accomplish. So first you're going to state, what is it that you wish to accomplish? And then you're going to list, and I have made four areas here for you to list the benefits that you will receive of you accomplishing what you wrote down. So how is it going to benefit you of accomplishing what you wrote down? And then in the next step, you're going to also write down 4 points that would be a detriment to you if you decided not to accomplish. Now, there's a word in this next one that I just read and talked about. Which word is it? And Jeannie, no, you cannot say it. What's the word that stands out to you? Put it in the chat box. Detriment to me if I decided not to accomplish. What's the word that stands out to you? Decide. Exactly, because it is a decision. And when you realize that, that makes taking intentional actions so much easier, because it gives you a feedback that there's a choice in this, and that it's you making the choice of either taking the steps or not taking the steps to your accomplishment. So, and then you're going to list 3 things that could have stopped you from accomplishing. What are some of the things that you let get in the way? 3 things you're going to list that you must do to achieve this. So what are you going to do to achieve this? I like to start out with the lowest hanging fruits. So that's just a little side note from me. And then you're going to list 3 positive intentional steps that you will take this week. 3 positive intentional steps that you will take this week. And then put your stake in the ground. I will accomplish this by, and put a date to it. By when are you accomplishing what you wrote down all the way at the very top, what I wish to accomplish? By when do you want to accomplish this? Sign it and date it. You can share it with an accountability partner. You can hang it on your wall for you to look at it. You can share it with your coach. Whatever it is that you do, this is a great format to go through in anything that you want to do, no matter how big or small the accomplishment or the goal or the well-formed outcome may be. I use this concept regularly, and I want to encourage you. It's one of my secrets, if you will, to use it as well. So I sure hope that you've made, we don't have the time today to go through it, and for me to hear from you guys on some of the learnings, but we're going to share with you how you're going to be able to get in touch with us. So all of this, let me check in with you really quick. Is this a good format? Do you like this format? How many of you are going to use this format? Share it in the chat box with me. I know Jeannie is. I'm pretty sure April is too. For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Great. Yes, good flow. Love it. That's what it is. It's got to be in alignment, right? So in the ebook that Maria and I co-wrote, we talk about the 5 seals to holistic alignment. And we go through flow, flexibility, balance, control, and alignment. And we look at it from both the physical side and the psychological side. So I told you guys, you are able to get in touch with us. You can book a complimentary session with Maria. All you got to do is take out your phone and point it to Maria's little QR code, and then click on the link that comes up, and the email, the website shows up where you just put in your information, or you can just copy and paste this down here. Let me copy it and put it in the chat box. This is how you get a hold of Maria. This is how you get a hold of Brigitta, or you can do a screenshot. You can you can send us an email and say, hey, will you share the slides with us? We'll even share the slides with you. You can point your camera to this QR code. You're welcome to reach out to us in that matter too, and ask for the slides. And within your complimentary session with either Maria and or Brigitta, we're going to give you the success guide. And this is the fundamental strategies to implement success patterns for your life, mind, body, and soul. It is holistic. It cannot be one or the other. We're holistic beings. It's got to be all of it. Okay, so here I shared the link. This is only to the success guide, so you don't necessarily have to jump on a complimentary call with Maria or myself. You can just simply get the success guide as well. Oh, you probably have to just copy and paste it, not click on it to get the success guide. We are here to help you get where you want to go. We're here to give you what is it that you need. May it be from a physical side, that would be Maria. May it be from a mental side, that would be Brigitta. Or clearly you can book a complimentary session with both of us, not simultaneously, but you're certainly welcome to book a complimentary session with either one of us as well. And I want to use the last, what do we have? 5 minutes. That's exactly what I wanted. I want to use the last 5 minutes to answer any questions that come up. And I'm going to leave for right now. I'm going to leave this window up just for a little longer. Any questions that come up, you're welcome to put them in the chat box, or you're welcome to come off mute. April just booked an intro to Pilates for tomorrow. Really nice. How timely is that, April? Do you have any questions for Maria or myself? Anyone? You're welcome to come off mute if you're able to unmute yourself.
Brigitta, you just muted yourself.
Oh. Hold on, why can I not hear April? Okay, hold on, that could be.
Oh, Fred says we can't unmute. I see April is unmuted.
Okay, April, try again. No.
Test.
Oh, Jeannie's, that's odd. Yeah,
that guide did not work. It didn't open.
That guide did not work. What do you mean?
The link, when I copied and pasted it, said page not found, just so you know.
Wait, which one? Which one of the many links? This one?
The center of NLP Success Guide.
I got it working, but I had to go and cut and paste the entire phrase. Success guide is a part of it.
I got it. It's got a space when you do it, when you copy and paste. It had a space. Thank you for that.
Oh, got it.
I got it.
Yeah. Okay. Good feedback. Thank you. And if you have any questions, I'm just going to put my email in here. Of course, you're welcome to reach out to either one of us. But whatever you are asking, I will definitely forward to Maria. Do we have any questions? Evora or Sorry, April, that we cannot hear you. I don't know why I cannot hear it.
April, you can drop the question in the chat box.
Yes. All right, so I'm going to wait a little bit longer. I was going to ask for daily movement to help with alignment.
So you know what? The exercise that we just did, that is one of the very first exercises Brigitta will tell you that I tell people to do. And I encourage people to do it in front of the mirror, because a lot of times you feel like you're in great alignment, and then you look in the mirror and you're like, whoa, it does not look alignment. So just practicing alignment. And thank you, Trey, for joining. And practicing that alignment, and then adding little movements, just like we did the knees, just barely lifting the feet, moving the arms, making sure you don't see any of these, right? Lifting the arms, making sure you don't shrug up, but maintaining everything nice and long and in control. That is a phenomenal exercise. It looks too easy to be an exercise, but it would make a huge difference into how you stand. Being aware, for example, right now, where you're seated, are you sitting in alignment? Who has their feet crossed or their legs crossed, or feet for that matter, right? So when you cross your feet, watch this. Can you see what happened to my body?
Your shoulder.
Yeah, so watch, I'm going to cross my legs. Do you see what happened? We don't think about these things, right? Or if you're sitting in the car and you sit like this, right? Those little things, if you're like sitting forward and your bottom is sticking out and you're leaning forward, or vice versa, I'm going to tilt my camera. If you sit like this, slouching forward, right? Sitting into your back and the back is taking the weight, or this way, right? All of this is out of alignment versus sitting up nice and tall. You want to have 9 degrees here, 90 degrees here, and you want your powerhouse to be nice and engaged. As you sit when you're typing, you don't want to be here. You want to be nice and tall. Your armpits are down and your monitor is at about eye level or barely down, right? Those are little things that you can do that will make a huge difference in how you feel.
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you, April. I would encourage everyone that's interested in Pilates, get with Maria. She knows, oh my gosh, she has a plethora of knowledge. She is, because she has a background in finance, she doesn't take Pilates lightly, if you will. I don't know if that's even a possibility to take Pilates lightly, but she is very thorough. And she also, for the ones that have studied NLP with me, she quickly realized that I'm a very visual person and showed me the exercises rather than telling me the exercises, which makes a huge difference if you know anything about NLP. Now I'm going way deeper. So thank you, Maria. Thank you for being here. This is so much fun.
Thank you, Brigitta.
Thank you, everyone, for joining in. I would like, as we usually do within the NLP calls, to put in the chat box or simply come off mute and share a word or a phrase that comes up to you as you are exiting this webinar today. A word or a phrase. Ooh, posture, treasure, yes. For me comes alignment. Yes, that was a word that came up for me as well. Fantastic. Treasure, posture, alignment. Wonderful. Do we have any more words? Evora, what comes up for you? Balance and flexibility. That's a good one.
Good ones.
What are you saying? What's your word? Alignment of body and soul, Estiel. Yes, thank you.
Excellent.
So you didn't get my word?
What was your word?
It was an expression.
Oh. Okay, well, let's turn this around into this.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. Make it a beautiful day. Ciao, everyone. Thanks.
Thank you, everybody.
Ciao.
Appreciate you being here. Bye.